Should be able to join.
I hope so. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy. Oh, there you are, Rebecca. It worked out perfectly. Good morning. I think she's still connecting. Good morning to everyone else. Happy live guest Thursday. We're back. And we're joined by our friend, Rebecca Elliott. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're well
Not bad
too,
at all.
thanks. Thanks for joining us and figuring out Zoom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You must be the only person on the planet, Rebecca, who hasn't had to have a Zoom meeting through this time.
I have not. Yeah.
Oh, you're very lucky.
Well, there's a first time for everything. We're glad you're doing it with us. So just some quick housekeeping. Some of you may have seen that yesterday was actually our 1-year anniversary of doing Daily Dose of Dr. Mary and Dee Dee. That's incredible to me when you think about where we all were as a group of humans a year ago. So we'll celebrate that tomorrow. And we'll just figure out what we figure out at that point. But we're really, really thrilled to have our spin friend,
Yes.
Rebecca Elliott, joining us. We know you because you are a rabid spinner. Rebecca, how many times a week do you go to spin?
6 or 7.
Yeah, that's impressive. And a little bonkers.
That's a shame.
Did you already go today?
I did.
Are you
At 6:30.
Oh, 6:30. Okay. Yeah.
I used to ride at 5:30, but we've gotten busier and busier at work. I need that extra hour of sleep. So I've been 6:30 for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, that means we get to see you at least 3 times a week, which is great.
Yes.
So, Rebecca, we're going to ask you the question we ask everyone to get started, which is just, how did you get from wherever you want to start your story to where you are today? And you can fill us in on any of the details that you want to talk about in your own challenging and interesting journey to being a sober person.
Well, I didn't write a speech or anything. I'll just kind of tell you, I didn't really start struggling with addiction until I was probably 30. So I was later in the game than most people.
Yep.
And within a few years, I had downward spiraled so bad, I actually ended up in the Jamestown Hospital for about 30 days and then did intensive outpatient through Southeast Human Services. That was in 2009. And I stayed sober for 4 years at that time. And I've had several relapses on and off. I have an amazing support system, though. I have wonderful kids, family, my coworkers, friends. I've gone in and out, dabbled with AA a little bit, but I can say that being sober, exercise is huge for me. That helps keep me sober too. I don't do AA now, but I do work with the F5 project.
Oh,
I have a peer support. Yep, I have a peer support counselor.
Bars later this month.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Yep. I have a peer support counselor. So, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resources out there. I also speak to a counselor at Rape and Abuse Crisis Center just for some trauma that has happened over my life, that between all of that and the support I have, and obviously Psychobar, all of that helps tremendously.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that your challenges started later in life. So I'm going to ask you some questions and you can answer or not answer them, because I sort of view myself as coming at this from the curious non-addict world. Maz and I have such different perspectives on this, as you know.
Sure.
What happened that at 30, when you'd had a successful 20s, which is where many people find themselves really struggling, what do you think happened at 30 that caused you to start down that path at that point in time?
I wish I knew. I had always drank at concerts or just Friday night, but then I wouldn't drink for a month. And then it was started drinking at home and just became more apt and prone to be doing it all the time. And then it was spiraling and I was like, holy cow, you're drinking every day. Now you're drinking a drink before work. Now you're drinking a drink at lunch. And it became, I had no choice but to get some professional help. I just couldn't stop.
But you got yourself professional help.
At that time in 2009, yep. Yep.
So that's also
That
fascinating
is
to me.
fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
How did you pull that one off?
I had help with family too. I had ended up in the hospital and they said, what are we going to do about this? And I said, you guys, I need some help. So they went with social workers and, they had a lot to do with it too. I didn't just go to Jamestown and knock on the door. There was quite a few steps. And I mean, I was in the hospital for a week and then they transported me there and stayed there for 30 days. And yeah.
And how was that, Rebecca?
It was scary at first.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. I had never been to treatment or I didn't have any clue what I was getting myself into, but it was when I got out of there, it was just such a good feeling to know that I was doing the next right thing. And then I actually stayed in outpatient treatment for 6 months and graduated that. And with all those sources and, I stayed sober for 4 years at that time. So
Impressive.
That is impressive.
So Rebecca, what are besides Cycle Bar today, what do you use to stay on the sober side of this path?
Well, I have every other weekend off. I work a lot, but I have every other weekend off with my son. So that's like our free time, and that's movies and games and whatever it might be. But I'm so busy that I get up in the morning, I go to spin, then I work. Like yesterday was 11.39 hours, and then you go to sleep and do it again. I just don't have time to. And if I do, people know because I downward spiral so very fast. So I just stay busy, I guess. And then I also meet with my peer support counselor and my rape and abuse crisis counselor. And I have awesome friends who I surround myself with sober people too.
Yeah.
I choose not to go I know I watched one of your episodes where you guys talked about not going to Rib Fest. I opted not to this year also.
Yeah.
I just don't do things like
on the comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a weird question? Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Do you miss drinking?
No.
Oh,
no,
that's good.
No. There's nothing fun about it for me.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I mean, I'm not saying I never drink anything, but I've never been one of those people who thinks, oh, I can't wait till I can get wasted.
Right.
That has never been an experience that I've thought, yeah, let's all anticipate that.
And over the years, any time that I have slipped, they say, and professionals and research shows that you go back to, if not worse than where you left off. And I can say that is true. It's happened so very fast. And none of that is fun for me. Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Wow. So interesting. When you know someone, we don't know you, but when you see someone in an environment where you sort of think, okay, well, we're all at spin, so we're all kind of the same people. It's that really powerful reminder that you don't know what's going on in anybody else's life ever. Really.
Right.
I mean, we don't know what's going on in our own lives. I lived with an addict and didn't really often know what was going on. So it's just an interesting journey. So what's next for you? What are you working towards or striving to?
Oh boy. I would really like to get back into an office career. I have an accounting degree and I've been serving for about 4 years, started between jobs. That I keep saying this is my next goal, to be a big girl again, but I haven't gotten that far.
Well, change is hard.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I think we sort of treat it like, well, okay, so you were an accountant, go be an accountant. Maybe part of being an accountant is what started you down a scary path. And so if what you're doing works, I think it's hard to think about changing that.
And like my mother told me, she said, you can't be bored because that I need to be busy.
Yep.
8 to 5. She said, then what are you going to do in the evenings?
Uh-huh.
Because now I work from 10 o'clock in the morning to almost 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, she's like, you would have to keep a part-time serving job just to keep yourself busy to stay out of trouble, so to speak, trouble, you know.
Yeah.
And that's totally true. I do much better in chaos, busy, 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 go, go, go. That's just kind of my personality, I guess. The
Sure.
busier, the better. The more productive I actually am being busier.
Well, I think it's why you like spin, because spin is sort of chaotic and demanding and busy and
It certainly is, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you sound like you honestly can't just sit down and relax. Is that true? Because that's one of the things I was worried I could never do again. But I guess I'm just lucky. I can quite happily sit down with a mug of coffee and half watch a movie or half read a book and do nothing and feel perfectly fine.
I can for short increments of time. I don't usually sit for through a whole movie. Oh, it gets paused for sure. I have to get up and do something, change the laundry, get another cup of coffee, get a Diet Coke. So I'm always doing something. Yeah, it's hard for me to stay still.
Is that a lifelong trait of yours, Rebecca?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting because I know some people who say they always have to stay active, and when I've been at AA meetings where a couple of people just walk around the room talking, and I just sit there, can you just sit down for 5 minutes? Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. So maybe it has to be a personality trait of some people, and you know some of these people don't become addicts. I've seen loads of people at work just walking around just.
Well,
speaking.
I can't sit while I'm talking on the phone. I'm a I'm a major walker. The greatest gift I ever got pre-cell phone, my best friend gave me a 100-foot phone cord so that I could just pick up the whole phone and walk around my whole little apartment. Because if I have to sit and be on the phone, it feels like a waste of time to me. I can be burning calories while I'm on the phone.
Sure.
So I get that trait. I think I can maybe sit a little longer than you can, and I don't want to go to spin 5 or 6 days a week. But I think I get that sort of. I have a lot of energy. I need to burn a lot of energy to sort of feel the best I can feel.
Right. Yep.
So, Rebecca, we've talked on this program, and I talked about this too, about going out and when you go out, having a set of plans to get to get yourself out of any situation that you feel uncomfortable in. Do you still arm yourself with those as well?
You know, my daughter's wedding reception we just recently had, and I had talked to my peer support counselor and we planned for it. There was things, keep your cup full. Don't engage in any sort of, if somebody's going to buy a round, then you're going to buy a round. Don't do anything like that. He said to also have a cup that appears to be as though that you're drinking, like, and I actually was drinking O'Doul's, but he said, and then people are going to assume you're drinking and not offer you a drink. You know, so and I actually there were some friends of mine that came that don't drink also, so that was nice. And then my 15-year-old son was there too, and there was kids and family members, so not everybody was drinking.
Yep. But
that's probably the most drinking that I've been around for a very long time. I wasn't worried about it, but my peer support counselor was.
Yeah.
He said, how are we going to plan for this? And he gave me some homework and some tips on, you know, do this. What else can you do to remain safe in case, you know, you were triggered? And I wasn't whatsoever, but still, it's just nice to have those ideas in the back of your head in a situation that you're being surrounded with people drinking.
That idea of don't engage in, well, you bought the last round, I'll buy this one. That's really smart because I'm sure, particularly as the parent of one of the couple, you do want to be in that very sort of host position and that generous spot. So what a great piece of advice, probably for everybody. Nobody needs multiple rounds at any point, whether you're an addict or not.
Right.
Yeah. Were you going to say something? No, go ahead.
So, have you ever this hasn't happened to me. I've witnessed this happen. And I thought I didn't need a spring interaction because the person I was with, who was also an alcoholic, handled it wonderfully. Has anyone ever said to you, "Oh, come on, one drink won't hurt you if you're out"?
Won't hurt me?
Yeah,
No, I guess I've never had anybody say that to me, actually.
I just think that's so crazy.
it is. It's just I'm glad it hasn't happened to you because there are some people out there that just can't accept the fact that people don't drink around them.
Well,
Right.
often it's because they're addicts. They may not know it yet.
Sure.
But, you know, if you're uncomfortable by people not drinking, it's because you're uncomfortable with your own position with alcohol,
Yep.
probably. So Rebecca, let me ask you this, because I think your perspective is unique. Again, going back to the fact that things didn't start to unravel for you until you were in your 30s. Can you offer advice to anybody who is in that same spot? Because so many of the people we've talked to have said, you know, I had my first drink at 11, 12, 13, and that's when I finally felt normal. What would you say to somebody who's, you know, early 30s and starting to feel like maybe they're a little bit out of control around a substance?
Don't hide, reach out for sure. There are so many people out there that care and that are willing to help you, whether it be the F5 project or a coworker might have some resources for you. Contact me. If you know me, I'll help you find somebody to talk to. Anybody, there's more people out there that understand, that are willing to help. Don't hide it or be ashamed of it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And there is hope. You can always get better. Sobriety is great. And there's so much help out there.
Yeah, boy, that is so true.
That is very true.
I think about how limited my understanding of addiction was. I always say I knew about it from movies and TV. That's all I
Sure.
knew about it. And so my understanding was you have to go away to treatment and then you have to go to AA. And I had no idea about this whole complex, rich world around alcohol and choosing not to drink it that is so much more dynamic than what movies or TV leads you to believe. It's been
Sure.
really incredible to hear everybody's personal journey to sobriety because they're all different because there's so many avenues to work towards it.
Sure.
Works for you, won't work for her, won't work for
Yeah.
him. It's really, as with all things in life, there is no one right answer.
Right.
And I love your point about there's just no shame around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There just isn't. We ask for help for other things. Why in the world wouldn't we ask for help to save our lives? Because that's
Right.
really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to. If you do not get the help you need, it will kill you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Rebecca? This has been really interesting. I'm happy to hear your story.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them as well.
Because you said actually earlier that you don't do AA at the minute. I mean, I completely understand that AA isn't right for everyone. Did you find something about the AA group you were in or AA in general that just didn't work for you exactly right?
No, I used to go to meetings quite a bit and I spoke at meetings and I would bring, my daughter used to go with me, my mom used to go with me, friends would go with me, and mom would say, I don't know how you just get up and speak like that. Because when they say, does anybody have anything to say? And I always had to spew my mind, and I don't even know why. I didn't get complacent necessarily, but I ended up having another baby in 2010 and I was busy and work and I just kind of fell out of it. And I guess I don't really know. It's not that I don't like it, because I do think it works, and I do think I've never worked personally through the 12 steps, but I've had a sponsor before. Now I just have a peer support counselor, which is kind of like a sponsor.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great support. They're wonderful. So yeah.
Well, I will say what I say a lot. I think however you find community and support, that is that's important to being a human being. We all need those people who we can come to and say, boy, I'm at my rock bottom, however that's defined, and whether or not that involves alcohol. It's irrelevant. Those of you who have found that community of support are so lucky in some ways, because you've got a place that's no judgment,
Yeah, I always
fully
think that too.
supportive, and there to say, you can do this and I'm here to help. That's just an incredible thing.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you all pay it forward as well. I mean, you just said, boy, if you don't know where to go and you know me, call me, I'll help you. That pay
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
forward model is so, it's really moving, because so much of our culture is centered around, well, I can't help you because I'm working on myself, so you're on your own. And what I have found through these conversations and through Maz is that that's just the wrong way to go through the world. The best way is to say, here's my hand, let me help you up.
Right.
It's just, we all do better when we're looking out for each other.
Have you noticed too, we've talked about this, the promises and the steps, like only one of them is actually about accepting the fact that you're an alcoholic. The rest of them are actually just really good advice for generally walking a path through life. Have you noticed that too?
Sure, to forgive yourself, to make amends with others when you go all the way down. It doesn't have to be just about addiction or alcoholism.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we all have people we need to apologize for. And a lot of us can't say, well, that was because I had a disease that was affecting my brain. For those of us who don't have that, we were just being jerks. That's a very different thing. So yeah, no, I agree. The steps are valuable for life.
Yes.
Well, Rebecca, we'll probably see you tomorrow morning at Spin.
Yeah.
Matt certainly will. I probably will.
All right.
I'm not quite as diehard about it as you two, but thanks so much
Well,
for
thank you.
joining
It's delightful
us.
to have a quick conversation with you.
Have a great day, you guys.
You
And
too. We'll
take
talk to you
care.
soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow when we celebrate 1 year
Wow.
of Daily Dose. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.